There's a reason why court TV is getting a lot of stuff wrong, and I'll tell you why. You heard it here first, folks. Court starts at 9. I'm not blaming the reporter because I know it's their schedule. But the reporter came in, and I'm not gonna, blast her. I know her though. Comes in at 11, sits in court from 11 to 11:30, probably then goes out to do her noon live shot. Then comes back. We have lunch. We're at lunch now. She'll probably stay till about 3:30, then go out and do her lives from 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's normally how our schedule goes when you're like this afternoon court shift. They're not watching the trial.
Yeah, most common thing in the world, actually.
Yeah, and that's where you see the big difference from like myself as a reporter, and news anchor, and then you see like Joe, you see DUI guy, you see you guys streaming it. It is around the clock coverage. Whereas this, you come in, you get your quick sound bite, you go out there, you say, oh, today this was very cool, and oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what the jury did. Back to you. And it's just not. It's not the whole encompassing thing. And I mean, again, to walk into the courtroom and you're missing 2 hours of testimony, one being from one expert witness to then part of another, you miss a lot.
And by the way, savvy lawyers, prosecutors, and defense are taking advantage of that by feeding out to what they know journalists will be looking for as a headline to manage the media coverage of the trial, because they know the journalists aren't watching the whole thing. Yeah. So they'll ask questions that aren't really relevant to the trial, but which are scintillating, that will attract the journalist's attention, the squirrel, the shiny thing. And that's all the journalist really needs for their day's work, is to have something they can write a story about, have a headline for. It in no way reflects the substance of what happened that day in court, but that's not the journalist's actual job.
Right. And I'll tell you right here. I mean, what we do is we find that emotional soundbite, whether it be, something from Johnny, Amber crying, or, the back and forth. For example, today you'll see, mark my words, the sound bites everywhere will be the back and forth between Dr. Spiegel and the attorney going back and forth. And well, what about you? And what about you? They write around it. And then it's just regurgitated every other hour. Maybe the script has changed a little bit, but that's all, folks. And that's how it's done. I get it though. There's time constraints. Live TV is different from live streaming. So I don't want to dog it. I was in it again for 12, 15 years. I'm telling you, I understand how the game works. But unfortunately, when that kind of stuff happens, mistakes are made, especially when it comes to legal terms like mens rea, when that's a criminal term. There's certain things like that.
Kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you talking about mens rea?
Exactly. So that's where, again, like I said, like mistakes in the legal media are made. So at least, thank God, people are on to you guys. They're watching you guys. Nick, actually, you and Andrew, actually, when I had my show back in the fall for Rittenhouse, you guys actually made my opening monologue of your, that's it, it's over.
Yep.
I talked about LawTube and everything that you guys were doing and how it was a completely different angle from what people are getting when they turn on the mainstream media.
Well, thank you.
The thing is that the funny thing is, talking about that, I think for us, the story is the back and forth, but for them, they will take that soundbite of the doctor saying, well, victims are imperfect victims, because that lines up with the Vogue, the Vox article, with the New York Post just put out today, all the Murdoch media. It lines up perfectly. And actually, I've been going on earlier to get more of an audience that's international, and everyone in Australia, in New Zealand, in the UK, in Ireland has all said that the media is dominated by pro-Amber statements. They're going to take whatever is pro-Amber and they're going to spin it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is why people are watching us, because anybody who watches this can objectively see that Amber is not getting the clear W that the mainstream media is painting her out to be getting.